Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques.
Oh.
What's up, folks? What is going on? Hello, everyone. We hope your day is going well. We are actually here on Bleacher Report, man. Hey, we about to get it in. For those that's watching us on other platforms, just know we're on Bleacher Report today. Shout out to Bleacher Report. So, Jacques, today we got a special show today, dude. We got a special show, man. We are in the off season right now, man, but we still want to talk Titans. So, Jacques, today, man, we're going to bring up our all-time Titans Oilers team, our starting lineup for the all-time team, man. So, thanks for everybody joining us, by the way, as well, too, man. You can throw your comments in the comment section no matter what platform you're on. Throw it out there. Jacques, man, what's up, bro?
Man, I can't call it, man. You know, living, doing my thing, man, trying to get through the next day. You feel me? What about you?
Man, I can't complain either, man. It's a beautiful day, sir. And hey, we got our throwbacks on, man. The combination Titans Oilers combination today. You know what I'm saying?
What jersey is that?
This is my customized jersey.
Oh, okay, I like it.
Oh, yes, sir.
I like it. I got the baseball joint on. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's the Henry baseball joint, but it's still like the baseball joint.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cool. Well, listen, we're about to get started, y'all. Again, we're going to talk about the all-time Tennessee Titans / Oilers team. So first, we're going to go offense, man. All right? So we're talking about no matter when, where, or whatever, man. If you don on that code, that powder blue for the Tennessee Titans, man, or the Houston Oilers, man, or the Titan Oilers, we're going to bring it up, man, for sure, man. So, Jacques.
Yes, sir.
Let's go from the top down on offense, man. All right, for those in the chat, man, you know, throw your answers out there as well, too, man. And we got poll questions that'll be out there as well. So, for your all-time Tennessee / Oiler, Houston, whatever team, as far as quarterback, who would be your starting quarterback? You only can have one quarterback. Who would that be?
Woo. So, man, this was hard. This was real hard because I tried to make it a determination of certain things like yardage, Pro Bowls, all that good old stuff. I'm actually, man, and this is crazy. I'm going Warren Moon.
Okay. All right.
Warren Moon, man, statistically was amazing. Now, I did get to see him play a little bit, even in the 90s. So I did get to see Warren Moon play a little bit. But statistically, man, he was amazing. Only thing that he didn't do was lead him to a Super Bowl. But, man, every time you talk about playoffs, and statistically, from a statistical standpoint, one of the greatest of all times to ever lace up an Oilers uniform. He never played for the Titans, but that's for me, Warren Moon. What about you?
Jacques, facts, no paper, bro. I think long and hard about this one as well, too, as far as my quarterback in this situation, man. Jacques, I'm going to have to agree with you, sir. I have Warren Moon 1,000%, man, to be honest. And I will be honest with you, man. When you put it all together, to me, it wasn't really a debate, to be honest. Right. When you look at the stats, Warren Moon had over 49,000 yards, man, 291 touchdowns. He won several Grey Cups when he was in Canada. This guy was successful, man. This guy, Warren Moon's a Hall of Famer. I mean, this is, you know, Warren Moon was unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Now, I got you by a few years, so I remember Warren Moon with the Houston Oilers. You know what I'm saying? And the run and shoot offense. You know, prior to that, and even after that, the Titans / Oilers was a running organization. When Warren Moon was a quarterback, they ran the run and shoot. They had 3 receivers out there, 1 running back like Lorenzo White and those guys. Warren Moon was the dude. Of course, my favorite player of all time is Steve McNair.
Yes, mine too.
Warren Moon. And Jacques, if you had a second string quarterback, who would it be?
It'll be Steve. Yeah, by the default of him getting the Titans to a Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but statistically he is up there as well, man. Right. So again, it's debatable, but still, man, Warren Moon, I think he still owns the franchise record for passing yardage. Correct me if I'm wrong.
For the Titans, for sure.
Yes.
One of the best in NFL history. So you talk about Canadian football, NFL football, like he's amazing. So it's for me Warren Moon. So we agree on that. It's Warren Moon. It's Warren Moon without question. So we got some answers in the chat as well too, man. So all right. So Jacques, I'm gonna go the next position, man. And I'm gonna take this one. So to me, this is the biggest debate of them all for the Tennessee Titans. Because I think the Titans have the best running backs in the history of the NFL as far as a franchise. Do you all agree out there? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So for me,
debate.
And we got the poll question out there. Let's see what quarterback we got. Okay, we got the poll question out there, y'all, as far as all-time quarterback. Now we're gonna throw out the all-time running back. So for me, for the Tennessee Titans / Houston Oilers / Tennessee Oilers, for me, as far as the all-time running back that I would have on this all-time roster is the king, Derrick Henry. That is my guy that I would have on here, man. When I think of Derrick Henry, as far as the franchise itself, you talk about the generation's best running back in this generation. 2 times leading the league in rushing, 2,000 yards rushing, offensive player of the year, Pro Bowler, All Pro. It's me for Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry is unbelievable. You got other running backs for sure for the Tennessee Titans. This could be an argument all day, but for this segment, for me on my all-time roster, I'm going with the king, Derrick Henry. What about you, Jacques?
Man, now you're talking about, like you said, debatable. We have the Mount Rushmore of running backs in the league that if anybody wants to debate, I see Duval in the building. Hey, do your thing. I get it. But anybody wants to debate that, any franchise wants to debate that, we can have that. We can have that debate. I mean, Titans, Oilers have been a franchise that's been able to sustain running backs. I don't know what it is. Each franchise has a blessing and a curse, and our blessing has been just running backs. I don't know what it is. But, man, this was hard for me, bro. This was very, really hard for me because these two guys, man, they are literally neck and neck statistically when it comes to stats in the organization. But I'm going to have to go with number 27, man, Eddie G, man.
Okay.
Because he still holds the rushing title with the rushing stats for the Titans and Oilers. I mean, yes, I think Earl got him though, right? But in Titans history, Eddie still got it. I think he's at 10,000 yards, right?
Yep. All time. Yep.
All time, right? He should be in the Hall of Fame as well, right? And I know this is why I kind of wish Derrick would have stayed at least 2 more years, because I would have loved to see him take that title from Eddie, right? But I'm going with Eddie, man. Seeing Eddie play, man, seeing what he was able to do in the time when being a running back was valued. Also, it was tougher. You went up against tougher competition. And what I mean by that, Ray Lewis, those linemen, London Fletcher. I mean, the list goes on of who Eddie had to see, who he had to go up against with that particular list of running backs. I mean, he was even part of the list of running backs that it was hella competition back in the day. So for me, I'm going to Eddie G, man. And it was hard, bro. But if I got to go a second, man, Derrick Henry all day. And you got Chris, too. And you got Earl Campbell. Like, come on, man.
Yep.
It's hard.
If we had an audible, you bring Derrick Henry to the game. If we did an audible and we put 2 running backs, I'm actually putting Earl Campbell as my second back.
Okay, so I'm going D Henry for mine. I'm going D.
Gotcha.
I'm going D. Like,
yes,
again,
sir.
What they've been able to do, and we've had 2. That's crazy. 2 running backs to rush for 2,000 yards, which is Derrick and Chris Johnson.
Right. Yep. CJ's unbelievable, man. I'm a fan of all 4 running backs. They're all unbelievable. We could have debates on that all day, man, because those are great options for sure, man. So we got that poll question out there as well, too, y'all, as far as who you all think should be running back 1 of all times for the Titans. All right. So, Jacques, I'm going to let you lead this one right here, man. So I think this is another big debate, okay? So on this offense, we're going to go quarterback, running back, and 3 receivers, okay? All right? So, Jacques, for you, as far as wide receivers, if you put our all-time roster out there and you got 3 receivers on the field, who are the 3 receivers for the all-time roster that you're throwing out onto the field for Warren Moon to throw to?
Okay. So, again, if anybody has not went down the Oilers rabbit hole from a statistical standpoint, from player standpoint, please do your homework, because these stats are crazy. So I'm going first, Drew Hill. Now, I never got to see Drew Hill play. He played from 85 to 91, all right?
Yep.
I wasn't even born then. I was born in 89, but still, you know what I'm saying? This man's stat is ridiculous. 7,477 yards, 480 receptions, 47 touchdowns. And he was part of the Warren Moon offense. Give me Drew Hill. My second receiver I'm going to is Hayward Jefferson, right? Same thing. 515 reception yards, 6,119 yards, and 47 touchdowns. And then to throw somebody else in there that we're really, really familiar with is Derrick Mason. When he was playing with the Titans, 453 receptions, 6,143 yards, and 37 touchdowns with the Titans alone, right?
Yep.
Come on now.
Yep.
Come on now. And that's with Steve throwing D the ball, and that's with Warren Moon throwing to Drew and Haywood. That's for me. What about you?
Gotcha. So all those guys you talked about as far as Haywood Jeffries and Drew Hill, I remember those guys. I mean, Haywood Jeffries wore 84, Drew Hill wore 85. The run and shoot offense was there. Clearly remember that. So for me, all right, my three receivers I'm putting out on the field. Wide receiver one is that boy 85, Derek Mason. I'm throwing Derek Mason out there, man. D Mason is my receiver out there. 85, throw him out on the field. Derek Mason could do it all. And what's crazy, Derek Mason is probably the Baltimore Ravens. He is the all-time best receiver in Baltimore Ravens history. So that tells you how good Derek Mason was in his career. So I'm throwing Derek Mason out there, receiver. My second receiver, I'm putting Ernest Givens. So you talked about Drew Hill and Haywood Jeffries. I'm taking the other guy, Ernest Givens. Ernest Givens had over 8,200 yards receiving. He had over 540 catches, and he had 49 touchdowns. So the run and shoot offense, Ernest Givens played a lot in the slot. Ernest Givens was a playmaker out there. He wore 81 with the Oilers, for those that don't remember. And then lastly, man, I'm going Arthur Ron Brown, bro. I'm going AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you why I put AJ Brown here, because we were a running team and AJ Brown was still getting yards, right? Ernest Givens, Haywood Jeffries, those guys was a run and shoot offense, so they're going to get the ball. Even with Derek Mason, when a lot of competition outside of him getting the ball, AJ Brown had competition around him to get the football, and he was extremely successful, and he got paid as a result of it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put AJ Brown as my wide receiver 3 in my all-time roster offense. So yeah. So
I like that, man, because I was thinking that too. I feel like, man, we got snubbed with that, man, because imagine if he was still with us to this day, right? What accomplishments he would have been doing with the offense changing. So I understand why you put him in there.
Gotcha, man. All right, y'all. So we are at we've got our quarterback, running back, and our 3 receivers. So next, I think this is a big debate as well, too, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. And that's at tight end, okay?
Yes,
all right. Now, again, if I'm not sure if somebody could comment, we got the poll questions out there. They're out there. So, you all can answer those poll questions. So I'm going to take this one, Jacques. Mm-hmm. All right. So to me, I was like, man, I think one is more talented than the other, in my opinion. But I think when you look at, overall, as far as what he meant to the team, his stats and those things, as far as what I have for me, for tight end 1, I'm going Frank Wycheck, RIP, man, 89, young Frank Wycheck. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at Frank Wycheck, this guy led us in receiving for 3 years in his career. That's pretty amazing. Though we were a running team, he still was making it happen, right? Now, I know Delanie Walker will probably be what other folks will think of course. Delanie's probably a better tight end, yes, as far as ability, speed, talent, and all that. Man, but Frank Wycheck got it done. And one thing I thought that was very underrated of Frank Wycheck, man, this guy could block. He could block. And he played a lot on special teams. Frank Wycheck did it all. You know what I'm saying? And at times when we didn't have maybe great receiver play, Frank Wycheck always stepped up. When we needed a big play, Frank Wycheck was there to make those plays. He made the Pro Bowl a few times in his career. I like Frank Wycheck, for me, as tight end number 1. What about you, Jacques?
Man, and this is another debate, bro. It was hard. It was tough because I'm going with Delanie. What Frank meant to this franchise was he was part of the Music City Miracle, right? I don't know if I was alive. I've seen the whole thing, but you have some fans out there that was probably wasn't even born when that happened, and to see him do that play. But alone, if it wasn't for him, if he didn't execute that properly, we wouldn't be talking about going to a Super Bowl or whatnot, right? But for me, I'm going Walker. And
all right,
the reason why I'm going Walker, man, what he was able to do when he was here, he was one of the reasons Marcus became comfortable, right? He was like a safety blanket for Marcus. And what he was able to do in that stinky offense and what he was able to do, it was amazing. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler, right?
Thanks.
The yardage. He can block too. I got to give Walker his credit as well. He was able to block as well. But again, it was just like you said, it's a talent thing versus overall player type thing, if that makes sense. So for me, it's Walker, man.
Gotcha, dude.
Again, it's debatable as hell, man. This is debatable. Very debatable.
It is, man. And y'all, we got the poll question out there. Who do y'all think is the best with tight end number 1 for the all-time Titans team. All right. So, Jacques, we'll get into the offensive line. So, I'm going to start off first, and I'm going to go to the left side of the offensive line first, up to center. And then after we talk about that, then we'll go to the right side. All right. So, Jacques, this was a big debate as well, too, as far as who I wanted to select on the left side of the field, especially at left tackle, okay? Because we've had some good left tackles, and I went back and forth on who I think and, things like that. So, for my offensive line group, man, on the left side of the field, that's blocking for Warren Moon, blocking for Derrick Henry, Eddie George, whoever's back in the backfield. My left tackle, man, I'm going B-Hop, Brad Hopkins. Shout out to Brad Hopkins on the radio show. Brad Hopkins was unbelievable here with the Tennessee Titans, man. Played here for a number of years. When we were really good, those years we were 13-3 and we were leading the league in rushing. Brad Hopkins was our left tackle. And Brad Hopkins was steadfast, strong, was able to really be a big part of our success, even when we went to the Super Bowl. 72 was on the field. Left tackle was Brad Hopkins' spot for years for us. And I think Brad Hopkins, and maybe not to say a Hall of Famer, but he was very, very good at left tackle here for us for the Tennessee Titans. So I'm going left tackle Brad Hopkins. For my left guard, I think for me it was easy to pick this one. I really like Mike Munchak, the former head coach for the Tennessee Titans. Mike Munchak was unbelievable left guard. Mike Munchak's Hall of Famer. This guy here, played in the 80s. I know a lot of people may not have seen him play, but I was able to see him play back in the day. Mike Munchak made several Pro Bowls. Mike Munchak was a mainstay here at left guard. He's had a lot of success as an offensive line coach in the NFL as well. He knows what he's doing. Mike Munchak is my left guard. And at center, I saw a guy named Mark. I didn't know much about this guy, overall, as far as some folks saying he was really great. But for me, man, my center dude, I'm going Ben Jones, man. I'm going Ben Jones at center. I felt that, those years that Derrick Henry did great. A lot of them was right down the middle of the field. Ben Jones was very responsible for that. He had a great career even with the Texans and with the Titans, man. When we were really good, Ben Jones was our center, man. So I like Brad Hopkins, Mike Munchak, Ben Jones. What about you, Jacques?
Did Brad play right too?
Who?
Brad Hopkins. Did Brad Hopkins play right tackle too?
I think mostly left tackle. I think left tackle, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think mostly left tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, because for years they had a whole bunch of guys at right tackle.
Yeah. So for left, I remember Michael Roos. You remember Michael Roos? Michael Roos was nice, and that's who I'm picking for my left tackle. Was Michael Roos.
Okay. All right.
And Michael Roos, again, it was interchangeable. He could play, and I think Brad Hopkins was the same way. He was interchangeable at some points as well. But Michael Roos, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Taylor Lewan took Michael Roos's spot when he retired or whatnot. So that's me. For my guard, I'm going Mike Munchak. I'm going Mr. Mike Munchak, man, the Hall of Famer, man. He was a hell of a guard even for those Oiler days, man. Amazing. My center, I'm different. I'm going Kevin Mawae. Kevin Mawae was part of the pivotal 2,000-yard game when Chris Johnson ran for 2,000 yards. That whole entire offensive line was off the chain, dog. Off the chain. It was amazing to see Kevin Mawae and what he was able to do when it came to just blocking, period. And if I got honorable mention, was Ben Jones, right? But for me, I remember Kevin Mawae, man, that tattoo and him, and he was just a ball in the middle. I remember he played, I think he came from the Jets. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He did come from the Jets. I'll have something to say about that, but keep going.
Yeah. And so that's mine. Go ahead. What was you about to say?
Well, that's the only reason I didn't put Kevin Mawae at center, because Mawae, though he's better than Ben Jones, and yes, Mawae is a Hall of Famer, Mawae only played here for a few years. So when people think of Kevin Mawae in his career, mostly people think of the Jets.
Right.
As far as ability, just like Delaney Walker, I think they're better, but just for the organization, at least that was my thought at center for sure. But yeah, Kevin Mawae was a beast. He was unbelievable.
Kevin Mawae cold, man. Like
he was.
And again, like you said, was he pivotal part of getting a running back to 2,000 yards? You know what I'm saying? And Ben Jones did too. I mean, with Derrick,
right?
He did as well, right?
That's right. That's right. Okay, so Jacques, we're going on the right side of the field, man, as far as right guard and right tackle. Who do you got, Jacques?
So I'm gonna go with my right tackle first, and again, I'm actually, man, he didn't well, he played here long. I'm actually going Brad. Because Brad played a little bit of right tackle. He was so interchangeable, man. Brad was cold, man, when he was on that line. Guard, I'm going Bruce Matthews, the other Hall of Famer, right? Absolutely. We were lucky enough to see Bruce play with the Oilers and the Titans when he was pivotal part of that Eddie George era as well. Yeah, I think that's the right side. Yeah, yep, that's the right side. Okay. What about you, Hawk?
So I got to give a shout out. I saw the comment or whatever, man. He must be reading my sheet of paper here. So I'm giving a shout out DLM2. So my right guard, no questions, Bruce Matthews is not even a debate. Bruce Matthews is arguably the best right guard in NFL history, right? Bruce Matthews is that dude at right guard. Dude, and then Michael Roos played right tackle as well, too. He played a lot at right tackle. I like Michael Roos. Michael Roos was a beast, man, at tackle, was here for years. Even in those years, we were not a good football team. Michael Roos was one of our best players on offense as a lineman. So I really like Michael Roos, at this spot. I mean, I see some people say Taylor Lewan telling those things and other guys, but I like being you both we like Brad Hopkins and Michael Roos at the end of the day. So I like Michael Roos for sure.
Yes, sir. And you had some honorable mentions too. David Stewart. You remember David Stewart?
Absolutely remember David Porkchop Stewart. Absolutely.
Cold, bro. Cold. David Stewart was amazing. That offensive line, again, I don't know the age group, everybody in here, but it seems like everybody has seen these people play. That offensive line was amazing, man. That was a hell of an offensive line. Like, we're trying to recreate that, but that was a minute where the Titans had a decent offensive line.
Absolutely. That's one of our strengths that we had for years,
strong in running back and offensive line was our interior, man. And then it kind of just fell off. Of course, when they retire and they get older and everything. Yeah, somebody said 2006 to 2011, Titans O-line was insane. Yep, Eric, you are 100% correct, man. And if you can even go back farther a little bit, Eric, too, man, even to the Oilers when they came to Tennessee and when they were still with Houston, offensive lines were balling as well. Again, if y'all haven't done your homework on the Houston Oilers, please do. Go look at them. That team statistically, man, was amazing.
Yep. I hear some people on here with Taylor Lewan. Hey, I think Taylor Lewan was very underrated, man. When Taylor Lewan was healthy, Taylor Lewan was a beast. You know what I mean? Taylor Lewan was good. Honorable mention for sure for Taylor Lewan. So, all right, cool. All right. So those in the chat, we got those poll questions out there, man. Hey, we want to know your opinions. Thank you for all that's typing in the chat. So next, Jock, we are going to look at the all-time defense for the Tennessee Titans, man. So, looking at, our defense as well, too, man. We got guys that we want to discuss, man. So we're going to look at our all-time defense. All right, so Jacques, I'm going to start with you on this one, man. All right, so we're going to look at our defensive linemen. We're going to go 2 defensive ends and 2 defensive tackles. All right, we're going to go in that route. 2 D ends, 2 tackles. All right, first, let's go 2 D ends first. So who would be your 2 defensive ends that you'd have on our defense?
Man, 2 D ends. Let me see, man. And again, I went down a rabbit hole of just seeing this. I'm gonna go each team. I'm gonna go Oilers, and then I'm gonna go the Titans. So I'm gonna go Oilers. This guy named Elvin, I think it's Bethea.
Elvin Bethea.
1968 to 1983.
Bethea.
Bethea, yes. His stats, man. This man has 105 sacks. 8-time Pro Bowler, dog.
Yep.
8-time Pro Bowler, okay? Now listen to what I said. He played from 68 to 83. I'll walk off on that.
Yep.
My next, we all know who he is. They call him the Freak. Javon Kearse, man. The Freak. The Freak came in his rookie year acting a fool, man. He acted a plumb fool. 22 forced fumbles, 52 sacks in his total career. But I think he registered his rookie year, correct me if I'm wrong, was like 13 or 14 sacks, something crazy.
Yep, 13 and a half. Yep, 13 sacks. Yep.
It was 13 sacks. He came in, man, and he came from Florida. The Freak was insane, man. Insane. Yeah, man. Like, just crazy. And so, if I got to give honorable mentions, man, Cal Vanden Bosch, he was part of that 2018 that was beasting as well. So that's for me. What about you, Hall?
So Jacques, facts, no paper, man. So looking at defensive end, I mean, Javon Curse is to me easy, right? That's easy. Javon Curse for sure had one of the best rookie seasons in NFL history, and not just that, man. I mean, Javon Curse had a very productive NFL career. I mean, even his short stint, even with the Eagles, especially the first year he was with Philadelphia, Javon Curse had a hell of a season. So, and then what people don't realize is even when the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2000, people think that they had the best defense in the league. The Titans were ranked number 1 in the league on defense. I'm not taking nothing away from Baltimore's defense. Their defense was unbelievable. But a big reason why is because you had Javon Curse, you had Henry Ford. Our defense was unbelievable at that time. So Javon Curse is definitely my left end on this defense. And to the right side, I'm going the same thing. Elvin Bethea. You look at a guy, not only the number of sacks that he had, the years he played, he had 8 Pro Bowl selections. This guy's a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? He made it to the Hall of Fame. I mean, so that lets you know, right? Dude was a beast, man. And, I was a little too young to know. I wasn't born in the 60s, of course. And this guy was, in the 70s, he played in the early 70s and played in the late 80s when I was really, really a baby. But this guy here, Elvin Bethea, was unbelievable, man. I've seen tapes in the past about this guy. So I'm going Javon Curse and Elvin Bethea. For those that don't know about Elvin Bethea, man, hey, check him out, man. He was a beast for the Houston Oilers, man. For sure. Absolutely. So, all right, so I'm going to go defensive tackle. I'm going to go my 2 tackles here, man. Hey, appreciate everybody in the chat. So the one tackle I'm going, man, is, and I remember this guy with the Oilers, is Ray Childress. I don't know if any of y'all remember Ray Childress back in the 80s. Tall guy, wore 79. Ray Childress was a beast, okay? In his career with the Titans, 76 sacks at defensive tackle, right? At tackle. Ray Childress was a problem, man. And one thing, he kind of, Kyle Vanden Bosch played very similar to Ray Childress. They kind of have the same type of play. Ray Childress was crazy, man. Ray Childress definitely for sure would be my defensive tackle. And my other guy for maybe 3 years in a row was the best defensive tackle in the league, and that's Albert Haynesworth. I'm going with Big Al. Big Al ended up going to the Commanders and also to the Patriots, and his career fell off. But with the Titans, oh my gosh, Albert Haynesworth was incredible. Albert Haynesworth was the best D tackle in the league for several years. So those are my 2 defensive tackles. What about you, Jacques?
Man, dog. So that's funny because it's the same, man. Ray Childress, man. I went down a rabbit hole again, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And I think his name is in the stadium. Him is a couple of people because he's of course. Childress, man, a beast. Again, young Titans fans, if y'all haven't, do your homework on the Oilers, man. You'll see why this franchise is a pivotal thing to us, if that makes sense. And then Haynesworth, again, we seen him play at UT. We knew he was going to be crazy coming into the league, but those 3 years that, like you said, he was with us, man, he was ruthless, man. He is what I wish Jeffrey Simmons would be, if that makes sense, right? I wish he would bring that same aggressive, funk, crazy mindset. I remember he stepped on dude, he stepped on his face. I mean, Haynesworth was crazy, man, but you couldn't stop him. I mean, double team him, couldn't stop him, everything. And shout out to Haynesworth, man. We've interviewed him and we've met Haynesworth, man. He's a good stand-up dude, man. Real good dude, man. Still in the Nashville area. So shout out to Haynesworth. And there's a bunch of honorable mentions, man, when you think of Jarrell Casey, man, you just
absolutely.
Yeah. We've been kind of fortunate. That's another position that we've been kind of fortunate in. And it's like a gap sometime that happens. We'll maybe go through a 2-3 year gap where we don't have one, and then we get an amazing one, and then go through another 2 or 3 year gap, and we don't have one, and we get an amazing one. So,
yeah, for sure. All right, Jacques. So we're gonna go on this defense. We're gonna go 3 linebackers. So you got your 2 in. You got your 1 inside linebacker, 2 outside linebackers. Or however you want to do our linebackers, we're gonna go 3 linebackers here, Jacques. So. Okay. Who do you have, bro, as our linebackers?
So I'm about to go with my boy, Mr. Monday Night, Keith Bulluck, man. And it writes itself, man. Again, 19 interceptions, 18 sacks. He was the linebacker that he was the new age linebacker in our time, if that makes sense, right? He was the first linebacker I see to wear the sleeves. He was one of the first linebackers to really just a playmaking linebacker, a roaming linebacker where he can catch and intercept. He was a good coverage linebacker, man. He was actually very missed. Mr. Monday Night, as they call him, Keith Bulluck. My second one, again, I went down another rabbit hole, man. Robert Brazili. He played for
Robert Brazel.
Brazel. Yeah, butchered his bad last name. But yes, again, 48 sacks, dog. 13 interceptions. 14 a mouthless Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro. Man, this is insane, man. Defensive Rookie of the Year in 75. My third linebacker is George Webster. Again, another one. 3-time Pro Bowler from 67 to 72. Stats are freaking insane. 8.5. I mean, those are my linebackers I'm rolling with, especially if we build on a roster like that. Again, I poached from the Titans and I poached from some from the historic Oilers, man. Again, I went down a rabbit hole. And again, I wasn't born in the 60s or 70s, but I mean, if you're a football fan, you do homework and you just look at these guys, hands down. Go ahead. What about you, Hawk?
So, Jacques, I like your picks at linebacker, man. My first linebacker that's getting onto the field is Robert Brazel for sure, aka Dr. Doom. Okay,
yeah.
You know, he went to the he made it to the Hall of Fame, and that was just recently, like a few years ago. Robert Brazel played many years with the Oilers. This guy wore 52, looking like Ray Lewis out there. That's how he played on the field. People were scared to run down the middle on Robert Brazel. Robert Brazel, again, Hall of Famer 2018. He's absolutely my middle linebacker for this defense. There's no question about that. Shout out to Robert Brazel. My other linebacker, yes, it's Mr. Monday Night himself, Keith Bulluck, KB53. Like you said, with the arm sleeve, looking like a big DB out there. One thing about Keith Bulluck, man, that man made plays for the Titans, dude. You know what I mean? Even years that we had lean defenses, Keith Bulluck always showed up and showed out, man. And, you know, when it came to interceptions, big plays, fumbles, Keith Bulluck was that dude. Will he get to the Hall of Fame? Probably not, but he will probably make the Hall of Fame for the Titans. I like Keith Bulluck. My other linebacker is who is Swag? What did he tell Deion Sanders? Are you Swag? Who is Swag? I am the Swag. I'm Swag. Eddie Robinson, right?
Eddie Robinson, yeah.
Eddie Robinson, the head coach for Alabama State. Hey, don't get it twisted. Eddie Robinson was unbelievable for the defense, man. Those years that we were, being the best defense in the league, they went to the Super Bowl in those 90s and early 2000 teams. And even before then, he set the standard for linebackers in here for the Titans. Eddie Robinson played here for many years. We had a lot of linebackers that come through after him, but I didn't really feel since then, Keith Bulluck, yes. But Eddie Robinson was the dude, man. I mean, Eddie Robinson played here. He played well for the Jags as well. But Eddie Robinson was a really good linebacker here, man. So I like Eddie Robinson for sure.
Eddie, I remember Eddie, man. Yeah. And again, this is so debatable. Again, you looking at statistically, man, it's some of this stuff is hard to pick.
Yep.
It's hard to pick. The Oilers, man. I got something to say after we do this, man, about the Oilers, man. Like, okay, seriously. Go ahead. All
right. So I'm going to start off the next one. So we're going into the defensive backfield. We're going to our corners. All right. Are y'all ready for this? Okay. We got the poll questions out there as well, too. All right. So we're going 2 corners here. All right. So I'm going to tell you this for me, man. There's one corner without question. I didn't even have to blink to think this one for me, man. And that's that boy Samari Rolle, man. All right. Samari Rolle was ridiculous here with the Titans, man. Again, Rolle played very well with the Baltimore Ravens, but man, what we know him for is for the Tennessee Titans. This is where he made his bread and butter here with the Tennessee Titans, man. Out of Florida State, highly recruited. This guy came to Tennessee, man, was a complete shutdown corner. A big reason our defense did well is because you had Samari Rolle in the backfield, playing very well at corner. He always played the number 1 receiver. And even at times when he would get beat, he was always competing. He was always there. Samari Rolle could actually, he could cover anybody. So I really like Samari Rolle. On the other side, I'm going to the Houston Oilers. And I remember this guy in the 90s. So we look at corners now, tall, rangy corners. He was that then, okay? We talk about a 6'2", 6'3" corner. That's Chris Dishman. Chris Dishman was a beast for the Oilers. You had him and Darrell Lewis. You had Marcus Robinson. You had a lot of guys back then at that time. But Chris Dishman was CB1 for the Oilers for years. So I really, with Samari Rolle and Chris Dishman, 2 tall corners back there, man, that's covering. Hey, bro, good luck with that, man. So I got Chris Dishman and Samari Rolle as my corners. What about you, Jacques?
That's funny because, again, same thing. Chris Dishman, I went down and wrapped 31 interceptions, dog. That's all I got to say. At corner, come on, man. And then Samari, of course. Mr. Rolle himself, man, he played, like you said, he played a pivotal role in even that Super Bowl run went on. He was another tall corner. I think he was about 6'1", I believe. Long, rangy corner. He had speed, good man corner. it was hard to throw on him when it was time to just look on his side of the field. And he played in a time where, now, like you said, quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, John Elway, quarterback Dan Marino, he played in that era where they were airing it out. So, man, for me, Samari Rowe, and again, like you said, he got his bread and butter with the Titans. Of course, people probably remember him with the Ravens or whatnot, but he started with the Titans, and he did great things with the Titans. So, again, even if you look at his stats, man, it is funny because he has 23 interceptions, right? At that CB spot. Now, can we name a current Titan? Maybe Cortland Finnegan, who has 14. Jason McCourty, right? Those are honorable mentions. But, again, those are my two. What about
Yeah. If Pac would have played here a lot longer, he would have been up there too. Yep. You talk about ability, right? Pac-Man might have more ability than all of them. You talk about corner. You know, as far as his career, you know, his career, even with the Bengals, like Pac was just got in too much trouble. So, all right. So, Jacques, so we're going to go with the safeties. All right. We're going to go free safety and strong safety. So, Jacques, who do you have as your two safeties, man?
Man, so I had to go with the immaculate Jim Norton. All right. So from 1960 to 1968, 45 interceptions. His youth 3-time Pro Bowler. You see his name in the stadium. If you've been to the Titan Stadium, Jim Norton is there. I remember like years and years ago, that's the first thing I know. I'm like, Jim Norton. Guy was amazing back in the day, man. And amazing. And I know you said we free and everything, but I'm also going to have to go with the mayor of Murfreesboro, man. Kevin Byard, dude. Like,
yes, sir.
What else can I say, man? He, to me, franchise. I mean, you have Blaine Bishop, you have Marcus Robinson, you have Michael Griffin. But when I think of somebody that has come in and if he would have stayed a little bit longer, he could have, I'm not going to say eclipse it, but kind of hit it with the Jim Norton statistic when it came to interceptions, was KB, right? KB. And put me KB rookie year, the stint that he was killing it, man. So that's for me, those are my two. What about you?
All right. So for me, man, at my strong safety spot, man, when I looked at everything, I'm going Blaine Bishop as my strong safety, man. Blaine Bishop was a hard-nosed safety, played very, very well. I'm not sure if he'll make the Hall of Fame, but I'm going to tell you something, man. He'll make the Hall of Fame here, definitely. I think he might. I have to go back and look at that. He might already have. I'm not sure, but
I think he is, huh? I think.
Okay. Well, Blaine Bishop was unbelievable here and played here for years when we were really good and even years when we were not good. He was very dependable. Didn't miss a lot of games because of injury. Blaine Bishop would knock your head off. Blaine Bishop was very underrated. Not the tallest safety, but played like he was 6'4" out there. Blaine Bishop played hard out there. He is absolutely my strong safety. My free safety is Kevin Byard. No question about it. KBZ was cold out there. Kevin Byard was the best free safety in the league for several years, in my opinion. When you talk about being productive, talking about not allowing the deep ball to go down the field, you talk about interceptions. This guy, for several years, was leading the league in interceptions as far as at the safety position. Like, this guy was always getting about 6 or 7 interceptions a season. And he did that in college. Shout out to my alum, Middle Tennessee State. Kevin Byard was unbelievable at free safety. So for me, it's Kevin Byard and it's Blaine Bishop. Those are my two safeties for sure for the all-time roster.
So again, DLM too. It's amazing. He said, "Don't forget Ken Houston." He was amazing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at Michael Griffin's stats: 25 interceptions. I mean, that's no slouch, right?
That's right.
Chris Hope. People, I don't think people can't forget Chris Hope. Chris Hope was solid too, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, 16 INTs. Blaine Bishop wasn't high in the INT statistical category, but he would knock your head off.
Right.
That's why he was strong, right? Michael Ranfield, like this man.
From Lance Schulters to Bernard Pollard. We've had some good safeties. We've had, and a lot of them wore 31. A lot of these good players like Marcus Robinson, Cortland Finnegan, Kevin Byard, Lance Schulters, Bernard Pollard. They all wore 31. 31's got a little something in there. So, all right, for sure. Okay, so let's look at special teams. All right, we can't forget special teams. Okay, so we're gonna go kicker, punter, kickoff, and punt returner. So, Jacques, I'm gonna start off with kicker and punter, and then we'll go around with kickoff and punt returner. All right. So for me, it's my kicker, Jacques, for special teams. What was that song that they used to sing on ESPN when he would kick field goals? Hey, Baronis. Oh, Baronis, right? I'm going Rob Baronis. Rest in peace, Rob Baronis, man. I'm going Rob Baronis as my kicker. For years, he was the best kicker in the league. He was almost guaranteed to make field goals, man. It almost was like, oh, we got that. It's going to put 3 on the board, right? And there was sometimes we couldn't even score touchdowns, but we were scoring field goals, and Rob Baronis was that guy. I had Rob Baronis even on my fantasy team for years, man. It's like this. That's solid. That's a solid 10 points for my kicker, no question about that. So I like Rob Baronis as my kicker. As my punter, all right, I'm going Brett Kern, 1,000%. Brett Kern played for the Titans, man. Almost 20 years seemed like, man. Brett Kern was a mainstay at punter, man. It was good knowing that you had no worries at punter, man, when he was out on the field. Brett Kern, one of the leaders in the NFL when he was a punter here. So, I mean, Brett Kern was solid here, solid for years, consistent. So I like Rob Baronis as my kicker and Brett Kern as my punter. What about you, Jacques?
Man, I'm going Al Del Greco for my kicker.
Yes, sir.
Remember Mr.
Yes,
Al, man. Al, man, he was here for a while, man. It's literally like Rob Baronis, man. It was like almost interchangeable, if that. But Al Del Greco, man, was just like Rob. And in his latter part of his career with the Titans, that's when you can tell he started getting older. He would kick things left. But Al Del Greco is my kicker. My punter, I'm going Craig Hendrick. He's another one that was just like Brett Kern. He was just like Brett Kern. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Brett Kern was Craig's replacement.
I think probably so. But Craig ended up going to the Green Bay Packers.
He played from 98 to 2009. Yep. 2009, we replaced him with who? Brett Kern. I'm looking at it now. 2009 is when we got Brett Kern. Like you just said, we've been here for like 20 years.
Right.
Yeah, that's another crazy position. Those two positions that we've been. Well, let me say that. Let me take that back. The kicker has been kind of rocky for the past 5 or 6 years. But for punter, we've gotten very fortunate, man, to have an interchange like that. So for me, yes, Al Del and Craig, man.
Cool, man. Cool.
Okay. I'm going to older Titans.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right. So, Jacques, what about your kickoff and your punt returner?
So for my kickoff and punt returner, man, I'm actually going Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Okay. Now, see your kickoff. So I'm gonna rephrase the question: kickoff returner and not or, but and. He's your kickoff.
Billy White Shoes. Billy White Shoes. All right. Yeah. Billy White Shoes, man. Again, you know the infamous chicken leg thing he used to do when he used to do his legs and throw his hands up. Man, if you look at his punt return, 2,040 yards, 5 punt returns, and then from a kick return perspective, 2,900 yards, man. Give me Billy. You know what he's doing. And I don't think he was the tallest guy. What was his measurables? What did he like? 5? What was his measurables?
Not sure.
He wasn't the tallest, but yeah, I'm going Billy White Shoes, man. What about you?
Okay. What about your punt return? Do you have a punt returner?
I do, Derek. I'm going D Mace, man. D Mace was pretty solid. Now I do have an honorable mention. I'm gonna tell you about in a minute. It's wild card, but I don't think people remember Pac-Man.
What'd you say?
Pac-Man.
Of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Does anybody remember when Pac-Man got drafted here, what his specialty was?
Yeah.
Hawk, I know you know.
Absolutely.
That Joker could return punts and kicks, and he stopped doing it, but he was a highlight reel there for a minute.
He was.
That's me. What about you?
All right. So my kickoff returner is Derek Mason. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, Derek Mason led the league in all-purpose yards as a receiver, kickoff, and punt returner. Derek Mason did it all. He could be kickoff and punt returner. Like Derek Mason, he did it all. And, one point in time, Derek Mason has had an incredible career. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he should probably be in the Hall of Fame when you look at all-purpose yards. But Derek Mason is definitely my kickoff returner. He's a guy that you could trust. He could take it to the house at any time. Wasn't super fast. He was very efficient and knew how to run through blocks and holes and things and get to where he needed to go. I was a huge Derek Mason fan. Derek Mason had over 1,000 yards one year in kickoff return. I'm going Derek Mason as my kickoff returner. Punt return. Now, I would say I've never seen this guy play. When you look at his stats, he's our all-time leading punt returner, and that's Bobby Jancic. So I don't know if anyone has ever heard of this guy. Bobby Jancic, we look at his stats. It's pretty amazing as a punt returner. Derek Mason had great stats as well too, but Bobby Jancic by far had the most yards as a punt returner. Now, I was going to bring up Pac-Man Jones as well too, because ability-wise, Pac might be the best we've ever had when you talk about ability, right? And it's not like act like Pac didn't have a great career. Pac-Man Jones had a great career, especially with the Cincinnati Bengals, right? But I'm going Derek Mason and I'm going Bobby Jancic is my kickoff and my punt returner for sure.
But if I need a reserve, I'm going Pac-Man. Pac-Man, go ahead and get in there, bro. Do your thing. Yep. Like I said, I mean, coming from West Virginia, I didn't even know the Joker can return punts and kicks until, like somebody said, he hugged the goal post. He couldn't stay out of trouble, man, especially here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Pac-Man's ability was amazing, man. Shout out to Pac-Man.
Absolutely.
Shout out Pac-Man if you watch this, man. Probably don't. Shout out to you, bro.
Yep. So, okay, y'all. Well, we had those poll questions out there, man, as far as our safeties and corners, who we all think that was the best that we've ever had in our franchise. All right, so our last question. Head coach. Woo! 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 Okay, so Jacques, I'm gonna throw the question out to you, bro. Who do you feel would be the head coach for this all-time Titans team? We got the poll questions out there, y'all.
Head coach, man. It was between two people. But I'm actually, and it's going to sound crazy, but it might sound crazy, it might not to some. But I'm going with Jeff Fisher, man. And the reason why I had to go with Jeff, man, Jeff did something that Bum Phillips tried to do. And again, I'm going to say something about the Oilers here in a minute. But Jeff Fisher did the ultimate thing and got us to a Super Bowl. Okay? And I know they call him Mr. 8-8. I get that. But for a minute there, Jeff went on a run when we transitioned from the Oilers to the Titans. We were in I think it was three AFC championships. I know we lost two. We won one because we went to the Super Bowl. His record, man, of 142 of 120. Fisher, man, for me, it's Jeff, man. Like, let me take Jeff. I know, again, it's debatable because of some of his calls and stuff, but he did the ultimate thing. He got us to a Super Bowl. What about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper, Jacques. We got the poll questions out there. We got, picks like Bum Phillips, Jerry Glanville, Jeff Fisher, and Mike Vrabel. 142 and 120, that's impressive to me. He had several 13-3 seasons in his career, too. He's had a 12-4 season. He's had an 11-5 season. He's had a 10-6 season. Yes, he's had some 8-8s. Agreed. But, man, he had a lot of wins, too, dude. He had 13-3, bro. For the Tennessee Titans, 13-3. Mm-hmm. I'm going Jeff Fisher all day, man. It's Jeff Fisher. You know what I mean? It's Jeff Fisher. Sometimes people remember what you did later, but sometimes forget what you've done in the past, right? That's kind of a life lesson, right? It's like, okay, I might, right now I'm going through a little bit, but don't forget what I've done. Don't forget that I took y'all to the Super Bowl. Don't forget that I had the Tennessee Titans as a number 1 seed in the NFL. Don't forget that I had the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship game as well, even though we didn't make the Super Bowl. It's Jeff Fisher, man. Jeff Fisher was a great coach here. Now, won't be a Hall of Fame coach, but when you look at the fact that he was here for a very long time as well, too. I mean, he was here for years. It's Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher held it down. When you look at, the coaches that, that we're comparing him to, he's got Bum Phillips, Glanville, and Mike Vrabel beat for sure. So it's Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher would be the head coach for this team. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, like you said, that's a hell of a point, Hawk. They remember what you've done later versus early. And if you got to see it, man, the run that we went on, we got spoiled there for a minute. And then, of course, all good things have to come to an end sometimes, right? If you do it right. But again, shout out to Jeff, man. He did a lot for the community. He's done a lot, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, folks, hey, listen, we appreciate everybody joining the show. Jacques, you said you had one thing you wanted to say?
Yeah, about these Oilers, man. Again, shout out to the Houston Oilers, Tennessee Oilers, however they want to say it. That team, man, and just going through the rabbit hole I went down statistically, that team should have won like 2 to 3, maybe 4 Super Bowls, man. I know the infamous Bills game where the Bills came back and everything. Going back and just looking at all these Hall of Famers, man, the Oilers had a hell of a team, dog. They had a hell of a team, and just certain circumstances did not allow them to win Super Bowls. But those teams should have won it. Warren Moon should at least have 2 to 3 Super Bowls, man, just the way things are. Shout out to Bum Phillips. He got Bum Phillips. But still, like, this comment is perfect, man. I don't know what we have as an organization and a franchise, but we seem to get the short end of the stick a lot of the times when it comes to just getting to that finish line, if that makes sense, right? If you were, I'm telling you, this is how much I love football, man. And when I was younger, bro, I would go back and rewatch games from like the 70s, 60s, 80s. If you want to learn something, you want to be great at, learn it, right? Pay respect, pay homage to the old school. And I'm looking at these, every highlight I'm looking at with the Oilers, I'm like, this team is amazing. It's amazing. And that Bills game of where the Bills were down, I think, what was it, 28 at half, Hawk? You remember it probably. Remember that game when they Oilers and the Bills came back?
Yeah, I remember that. I saw the game. I saw the whole Frank Wright. Frank Wright was the quarterback for the
Yep, one of the greatest comebacks of all time or whatnot. And I looked, I said, man, that's crazy because it reminds me of the Titans, right? We used to go through things like that. So shout out to the Oilers, man, again, 35-3. Yep, it was 35-3. I remember, yep. Shout out to the Oilers, man. Again, we own this. Again, it's been debatable. They say we don't, but we own this. And I just got to pay my respects to them brothers, man. They were talented, dude. So,
Yep. So, all right, cool. Well, listen, y'all, look, we appreciate everybody watching the show today, man, and everything. Again, we got those poll questions out there, man. We want to know your thoughts. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the former Titans, current Titans, former Oilers, current, guys that are in the Hall of Fame, guys that were just great for the organization, that kept the organization moving forward. We want to show our respects to y'all today as far as the all-time roster. Check us out again. If you have not followed us here on Bleacher Report, you can follow me at Lorenzo_the Hawk. You can follow Jacques at Jacques Merrill. We're on YouTube, Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Twitter, Titans Weekly 24/7. We are in those internet streets, man.
Yes, sir. And again, thank you, Bleacher Report. Thank y'all for participating in the show, man. This was a fun show. And again, man, y'all have a safe weekend. And training camp is coming up, so this is going to be fun. And I know we just acquired, Jamal Adams, but we'll talk about that. There'll be a whole other topic. But hey, shout out to the Titans. Shout out to you all. Appreciate you, bro. And we'll go from there.
Yes, sir. All right. We hope you all have a great rest of your day, great weekend and everything, man. And as we always say, and as we always do, Jacques, facts.
No paper.